Okay, time for an update on the Miami Mall alien attack or whatever it was. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, to start with, we've heard this gentleman here before give his testimony, and I've shown that before, or part of it. He has several videos on it. They're short, they're TikTok videos. But this is really important to go over because he actually shows this footage, which he claims, I believe, came from his brother. So I'm gonna play it. I'll play it with sound, and then I'll comment.
Bro. Everyone's going this way. Yo, what is that?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Fitz again. I'm here with part 3. The clip you just saw was another one that we found on my brother's phone. Obviously,
Okay, so they found that on his brother's phone, and that. So if I'm understanding this correctly, and they didn't just pull this from a video online, if this was actually a video taken by his brother at the incident at the mall in Miami, then there's one of two options, right? That this footage is depicting non-human beings. This is genuine footage depicting these 8-foot-tall shadowy forms, or he's totally BSing. So I mean, it's one of the two, right? It's one of the two. I don't see any other way to see it. Now, how could he be BSing? And what would that mean? Because his testimony coincides with several others. It's suspiciously similar to the original testimony that we heard from the gentleman that first went viral with this story, and he later recanted that information at least twice. So could these other, supposed witnesses be copying the template of his story, and then they've had a few days to cook up this footage? Or is this genuine footage? Are we looking at aliens right here, or other dimensionals, or ghosts, or whatever they are, guys? I don't know what they're supposed to be or what they are, but let me know, because it's either one or the other, right? Either this is a hoax and we can just cross his testimony off the list, or we're looking at non-humans. Okay, Timothy Alberino isn't buying any of this. He says, my take on the Miami incident: I am exercising an abundance of caution in regard to this story. It smacks of mass psychosis. Anyone can come forward as an eyewitness to the event with no way for us to verify their claims. I have heard conflicting testimony from patrons and officers who were allegedly on scene that evening. I do not believe that the videos circulating on social media depict anything definitive. I am not discounting the possibility that large non-human entities were stalking around that mall, but I am certainly not prepared to blindly affirm such an extraordinary claim. Mass conspiracy psychosis has undoubtedly increased since 2020, but so has the occurrence of high strangeness. Indeed, I don't know if high strangeness is on the rise or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if it were, and that this could be an example of it. Something went down that day. I'm not buying the official narrative that 80 to 100 police cars or more were called out for some 50 teenagers fighting with sticks and firecrackers, or yeah. So I'm not buying the official narrative. Does that mean that the alien narrative is the answer? I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going on with this story. I really don't. I don't have a dog in this fight, just trying to get to the truth. But from what I'm seeing, something weird went down that day. But I totally understand if you think this is just a hoax. And, it could well be. We could be looking at a social media hoax perpetrated by a few people and getting a lot of publicity. But how does that account for the number of police cars there? I don't know. I don't know. Here's another witness.
My name is Ntic, and I was also at the mall when I saw the 10 feet alien. I'm gonna give you my testimony right now. So What I saw, I was just standing in the side of the mall, and then I saw everybody running towards the center of the mall. As everybody's running towards the center of the mall, I went to try to take out my phone. But as soon as I got to my phone, I looked up and I see this 10 feet creature just like moving side to side. The images was like cutting in and out. It wasn't clear. He was fading in and out of like reality, I guess. And then 3 other ones appeared and they was fading in and out of reality too. It's like they wanted to be here, but it's like we had the power to see them, but we couldn't see them all the way. Like we needed to have, I don't know, or they needed to come all the way out. I don't know. But it was a little shaky. The cops came. It was like 1 million cops out there. It was nasty. And then they asked everybody for their phones right before we departed. So they made a perimeter around these aliens, and they was checking everybody's phones. But I got somebody with a picture and a video. And he's from Miami. He's a resident of Miami. And from Orlando, and he was at the mall too. So me and him became cool. When he was running away, I was like, "Yo, you got that?" He was like, "Yeah, I got that." So me and him are in contact, and he's just scared to release the video, I guess. But I'm gonna have the video because we cool.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing that video if it's something different from what we've already seen. He seems very genuine and credible. They all do, really. But so did that first guy who recanted his testimony. Was he paid or threatened to recant? Or is he just a good liar? Are they all good liars? It is hard to tell, guys. It's hard to tell. One thing I wanted to address was the Antarctica rumors, right? Everybody's, sending me this, and I think it's really intriguing. And apparently, if you reverse the coordinates of that location in Miami, what you get is the dead center of Antarctica. That's intriguing, right? So, the theory is that maybe the aliens or the beings did come through a portal, but they got the wrong place. They messed up the coordinates and they meant to go to Antarctica. Hey, it could be. I guess I've heard crazier stuff. However, I don't think the beings use our coordinates. They probably don't use our measurement system. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here's a take from a former police officer.
Okay, people ask me to give my opinion on this Miami thing. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's not true. I don't know if all of this is BS. Okay? I'm going to give you my police perspective on this. Okay? So take it however you want. Again, entertainment purposes only. But I can tell you this. 27 years as a cop. 27. Never did I see 200 police cars at any scene. Ever. So say there's 100 police cars there. Okay? If you have 2 cops in every police car, you have 200 cops there. Why would you need 200 cops for 4 kids fighting? Because that's what the call was for. So I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying this is untrue. I'm just saying, to me, that's a lot of cops.
Well, it was more than 4 kids fighting. It was 4 arrests. But yeah, I take his point, and it's a good one. I'm not a policeman. I'm not a police expert, but that seems like a serious over-response to the situation that we know about with the teens fighting. Here's a local Miami resident with his take.
Okay, look, I don't know no easy way to say this, and I know I joke a lot, but ain't nothing funny today. All right, so boom. The other day, January 1st, it was a whole lot of police cars at Bayside, right around the corner, Biscayne Bay Boulevard. Y'all all know where it's at. It was 50 to 100 police cars, and they claimed that it was some kids. They got into an altercation. They started fighting and shooting fireworks, and they had sticks. I've been living in Miami over 10 years. That sound like a 6 to 10 police car job, if that. There was 100 police cars, y'all. So boom.
100 police cars, guys. Yeah, I agree with him again. That is 10, maybe 20 police car situation, if they really wanted to get serious. And, we heard the police scanner where they were saying, all available units or something like that, get over here, we want to shut this down. So, I can see an aggressive response to that, maybe up to 20 cars or something like that. But 100? And check out this crazy UFO video. This is apparently over Miami that night. And this is sent to me by John Ramirez. So thanks, John. Not CIA John, but our John. From the Ben and Laney show that I had never seen before, but they did a really good video on Miami. And it wasn't anything I hadn't seen before until I got to the end of the video. And we've got this crazy UFO. It's kind of a longer video. It's at least a minute long, but it kind of breaks up or kind of becomes like a fireball, and then it kind of changes shape. And I wish the words weren't right over the UFO, but there you go. It's kind of this elongated fireball thing, and then it does kind of change shape a bit, as you'll see right there. Loses its tail, starts to go out, changes color. Could that be a flare descending and going out? But again, if there's a flare over that area, that's interesting. Could that be a firework? Could that possibly be a firework? I'm not getting firework vibes from that. But hey, if you're a flare expert, let me know what you think. To me, that looks like a pretty good UFO, but let me know what you think. Yeah, and there it kind of separates, and you can see the 3 points as in like a triangular structure. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Meanwhile, third phase of the moon talked to somebody that is saying they have confirmed that there were no flights going in and out of the airport at that time. Now that is under dispute, and I've shown you, possible evidence to the contrary. But this is somebody saying the opposite, and I'll let you watch the video for the interview with that gentleman to see if you think that he's, honest. Another cool video that people keep on sending me, and I'm just going to use third phase of the moon's version of it. There's this really intriguing video taken that night, supposedly, of a giant being, 10 foot tall or more, shadowy being, and you can see it in color and in black and white. You can see. I mean, if you haven't picked it out, it's right there. It's this giant, huge, shadowy form that's just kind of walking by that part of the building. Is this pareidolia? Am I just my brain is trying to make sense of something mundane and giving it a human shape or a human-ish shape? Or are we looking at a giant shadow being? Is there a rational explanation for that crazy shadowy figure, if indeed this is legitimate footage? And it appears to be, but who knows? Meanwhile, Elizabeth April thinks she has the answers. I'm not a huge follower of Elizabeth April. I've never seen any corroboration of her abilities. But she is apparently an out-of-body experiencer and an ET contact experiencer. She can also do remote viewing. And, again, I haven't seen any confirmation of these abilities. There are some remote viewers where there is obvious confirmation of their abilities, and some out-of-body experiencers that, indeed there's other people that have seen them out of body, or they can bring information back to confirm their experiences. I haven't seen that with Elizabeth, but that's not to say she isn't legit. But let's see what she has to say. She applied her remote viewing abilities and contact abilities to Miami, and here's what she had to say.
Action from that. I mean, what really is going on here? It's exciting. So then I went, because I couldn't get any of that information about the intention behind it from the scene. All I'm looking at is the information. All I'm looking at is the scene and the chaos and everything. Something else that came through when I was taking a look at even just the aftermath of seeing them was police officers that surrounded the building, that surrounded the mall, made sure to take the names of every individual who was coming out of the mall. once again, to follow up with. I think, I'm just going to speculate here, I'm just going to plant a seed, and then I'll tell you why, what was the deal? Why were they there? Were they even real? All of that.
Well, let's just skip to that part. Okay, here we go.
Different dimension. 99.999% of the time, human beings cannot see the aliens that are walking around. So what happened? What happened is planet Earth got hit with a series of solar flashes in the past month. What does that do? It increases our vibrational frequency on planet Earth. So, the interdimensional beings that love just hanging out with humans undetected are all of a sudden showing up super casual, like, yep, we're here for the human party, and all of a sudden they're being seen. Right? So, this is why some of the first-hand witnesses and the accounts of the people who were in the mall said they looked like shadows because they could not see their full physical form, because they weren't in a high enough frequency to see their whole full physical form, but they were in a high enough frequency to see something. And so it just makes me laugh thinking about these three like aliens being like, yo, we're back at our like stomping grounds, we're hanging out at the mall, and they just show up in the middle of this mall and all of a sudden everyone's looking at them screaming. And
hey, I don't know. She says they weren't actually shadowy beings. They were like tall gray type beings. And she could see them clearly. But other people's vibration wasn't high enough to see them clearly, so they were seeing them and interpreting them as more shadowy beings. I don't know if this information is on the level, but I present it to you, for you to make your own decision. Oh, and here's one from Parasite TV that does a dive into the Miami incident. A good video, a solid video. Encourage you to check it out. And he has this interesting screen grab showing that indeed there was a power outage in that area. 61,000 homes without power. So what does that mean? Is this legit information that there was the power outage that had been reported and then was debunked? So if we can undebunk that, can we also undebunk the airport being shut down? I don't know. We're still in the fog of war on all of this, and I'm still trying to gather reliable information. It's difficult. And of course, if there is a suppression of information on this, and if the police were on the scene making people delete their videos and going through their videos to scrub them to make sure they were fully deleted, which is what I've been hearing, then it makes sense. It makes sense. So, but yeah, what's the truth? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Oh, and here's some more information also sent me by a viewer. And thank you so much, guys, for sending me all this awesome information. But check this out. This is from Mitchell Reacts, a channel that I'm not familiar with. This is apparently a witness that was at the scene in Miami, and they posted a series of tweets describing the event. And I think maybe they have since taken those tweets down. At any rate, this is all the information we have from that account. I'm just going to read it. I was at the mall in Miami yesterday, and the government is lying. There were no kids fighting. Well, we know there were kids fighting because there's video of that. Everyone started panicking because these gray creatures were walking around. They didn't make any noises or sounds, but stared and watched you move. I tried to take a video, but every time I would try to, it would just bug out. They set a perimeter and wouldn't let anybody out or in unless they went through their photos. We were visited by aliens and the government is covering it up. They were about 6 to 7 feet tall and walked very slowly. They could turn their head around completely, and it seemed like they could change forms, like they didn't have any bones and could bend their body in whatever way. No fingers or feet, just arms and legs. They could also seemingly teleport. They weren't walking around normally, but instead disappearing and then quickly reappearing somewhere else. This allowed them to walk through some of the glass displays in the mall and through walls. You couldn't escape if they wanted to kill. Okay, well, I'm glad they didn't want to kill. But, you know, who knows? Who knows, guys? This person was seeing them as gray type beings, about 6 to 7 feet tall. So I guess we're talking about tall grays, which is similar to what April Elizabeth was saying. So maybe this person's vibes were high enough to actually see them or part of them. So, you know, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, guys. I don't know what happened. You know, it's shocking if this was a, alien or non-human event of some sort, that the cover-up was able to descend in force so quickly and so effectively. Yes, these accounts are getting out, but they scrub people's phones. They really have done a great job of suppressing this story, if this story is true and not a social media hoax, which it totally could be. But again, if it's a social media hoax, how do you account for the insane police response and what's looking more and more like at least a large outage of power in that area? So something went down there that day, guys. Something went down. I don't know what it is. I don't want to push any particular narrative or agenda. The information we have on this is scant. Some of the witness testimony has been recanted. Others is questionable, like that one gentleman that I showed today showing that video from the mall. I mean, either that's legit footage of non-humans or his testimony is BS. I'll let those of you that are experts in analyzing video and special effects make that determination. So please, get on that if you have time and let us know what you find. I just don't know what to make about this crazy case. But while there is a story to tell, I'm going to continue covering it. So give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, grab a t-shirt. If you wanted to become a channel member, that would rock. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel. I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.